Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic week, and I've got a report today again, something that happened this week that I seem to be reporting on an awful lot this year. And yeah, tell me what you think, and let's talk about it, but right after this. So what am I talking about today? Well, again, last night, another lady fell off a cruise ship. Now, luckily, this British lady named Kate was found. She fell off the Norwegian Sky uh, and was in the water for about 10 hours during a search and rescue, where she was found in the morning swimming about 95 kilometers off the shore of Croatia, where right around the area that she was believed to have fallen overboard. And she was brought into the hospital after being 10 hours in the water, where she was still actually swimming while she was in the water, not just floating there. And apparently she's doing well. She's doing fine. There was a quick interview with her being escorted off by paramedics to the hospital. She seemed to be in really good spirits, very thankful to be alive. She thanked the people who rescued her and said that these guys saved her life. She's very lucky to be alive. So she doesn't seem any worse for wear. Now the question always arises, was this a accident? Did she accidentally fall off? She says she fell off the rear of the ship. So at least in this case, you can see that if she falls off the rear of the ship, if they happen to have, rough weather, the ship could be going a little more rocky than, say, a balcony on the side where people tend to fall off quite often, or if she jumped. And the Croatia investigators will be checking with the closed-circuit TV on board the Norwegian Sky, and the cruise line is cooperating 100%, providing all the film footage they have. They want to know what happened as well. If there's a flaw in the design of their ship in the rear, what can they do to change that? Or was this a case of somebody, again, jumping into the water and then changing their mind afterwards? We don't know. We'll follow along and see what happens. But is it just my imagination? How many times this year have we heard of somebody falling off overboard or jumping overboard? We just had the crew members that were being pulled alongside on one of their rescue boats, that the tender lifted one end up, the ship turned and down they went into the water, and were rescued actually by a ship following closely behind. But it just seems like there's an awful lot of people ending up in the water this year, and it's kind of worrisome, especially when you're about to go on a cruise in about 18 days. So, and an Atlantic cruise at that, where there's not exactly a high traffic volume, transatlantic volume following closely behind if anything happened and you ended up in the water. And the water's a heck of a lot colder than it would be off the Caribbean coast. And so yeah, it's an interesting trend. It doesn't sound, when you hear her interview, that she was, well, here, listen to her interview.
I fell off the back of the Norwegian Star, and I was in the water for 10 hours.
Okay.
So these wonderful guys rescued me.
Your name is?
Kay.
Kay.
I am very lucky to be alive.
Kay from?
From England.
So there you go. As I said, she seems to be in very good spirits. She doesn't seem to be somebody who attempted to commit suicide by jumping into the water, but you never know, right? That initial splash in the water can change your mind completely very quickly, I assume. So we don't know. We'll follow along, see what happens, and see if anything comes of the film footage from the ships itself. But I'm going to pose to you, do you think it's becoming more and more of people falling into the water, or do they need to change the ship designs at all? A lot of people are really against changing the ship designs because, higher windows and higher glass around the decks just interferes with your view, and you always have the salt water on the glass. You never really get a good picture out. They're always constantly cleaning them, and there's even been talk of raising balcony decks up to, higher levels as well, because people have been known to be drinking in their rooms or back from a party and go out on their deck and lean over their deck to take a selfie, and in they go. And it's just a problem that the cruise line industry has to deal with and live with on a daily basis. What's best for the majority of the people and what's the safest for everybody? So let me know what you think down below. Can cruise lines do anything? You can't stop somebody from jumping into the water if they want to jump in the water. But I'm talking about those that actually accidentally fall over, whether they're inebriated or whether it's just a rough seas and they happen to step out in the balcony, windswept blown over, they're leaning over too far and they slip, any number of reasons. So what can the cruise lines do about it? Let me know down below. But again, at least this woman is safe. Again, 10 hours in the water. I can't imagine swimming for 10 hours in the middle of the ocean and how scary that would be. But she seems very glad to be around, and I'm glad that she's still with us as well. So I hope you like this video and update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and you know where I'm at, right? You can tell I'm not in my normal backdrop with the ocean in the backdrop. That's because I have a visitor again. Shota, I'm sitting somebody again. Huh? I'm sitting somebody again, aren't I, Dee? Huh? Who's my girl? So Shota wants to say hi quickly before we say goodbye on the camera. And she and I are spending another week together while my nephew's down visiting my sister. So you'll see her maybe once or twice more before we go. Isn't that right, Shota? Yes, she's a good girl. So I hope you liked the video again. If you did, please give it that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And until next time, you have yourself a safe and a great vacation. Who's a good girl? Who's my good girl? Who's my good girl, huh? Yes, you are, baby.